Good morning, everybody, respected teacher, and my dear friends. My teammates are Anne Maria Joseph, Ajay Krishnan GA, Rishikesh J, Sri Lakshmi P, and myself. Welcome you all to the presentation. My topic is personal selling. Coming to the introduction, personal selling is an act of convincing the prospect to buy a given product or service. It is the most effective and costly promotional method. It is effective because there is a face-to-face conversation between the buyer and the seller. Seller can change its promotional techniques according to the needs of situation. It is basically the science and art of understanding human desires and showing the ways through which these desires could be fulfilled. Personal selling is also known as face-to-face selling, in which one person who is a salesman tries to convince the customer in buying a product. It is a promotional method by which salesperson uses his or her skills and abilities in an attempt to make a sale. The salesperson tries to highlight various features of the product to convince a customer that it will only add value. However, getting a customer to buy a product is not the motive behind personal selling every time. Often companies try to follow this approach with customers to make them aware of a product. Coming to the nature of personal selling, first one is it is a part of promotion mix. Personal selling is a part of promotion mix or a communication mix in the company's marketing program. Other elements being sales promotion, advertising, public relations, and etc. The next point, it is a two-way communication. It is the best tool for two-way communication. Salesman can provide necessary information to customer about the company's offer and also can collect information from the customer. The ultimate aim is to persuade the customer. The next point is it involves presentation and persuasion. The salesman, through his knowledge, tries to present his product to the prospective buyer and tries to persuade the prospective buyer with the help of various skills and techniques. So the next point is it is a flexible tool. Personal selling is more flexible than other promotional tools. Salesperson can see their customer's reaction to a particular sale approach and make adjustment according to the situation. The next one is its creative tool. Personal selling is a creative in nature. The salesperson tries to create needs, make the customer aware of the host need, and try to persuade him to buy the product. The salesman does not sell, but he creates another man to urge to buy. The next point is development of long-term relationship. Personal selling results in the development of personal relationship between the salesperson and the possible buyer. Such relationship has important place in the sales. And the next point is quick solutions to queries. The prospective buyer can make inquiries regarding the product. Salesman answer these queries quickly and removes any doubts in the mind of a buyer. And the next point is customer confidence. By systematic sales, talk, and presentation, a capable salesman can remove all doubts, queries, objections, and misunderstandings and can win customers' confidence. It increases customers' faith in the company and its offers. Coming to the objectives of personal selling has two types of objectives, long-term and short-term. The long-term objectives are which are more or less permanent are broader. These are also known as qualitative objectives, and other one is quantitative objectives known as short-term objectives. And coming to the qualitative objectives, the first one is to do the entire selling job, as when there are no elements in the promotional mix. The second one is to serve existing accounts. Example, to maintain contacts with the present customers, take orders, and etc. The third one is to search out and obtain new products. The fourth one is to ensure and maintain customers' cooperation in stocking and promoting the product line. The fifth one is to keep customers informed of changes in the product line and other aspect of marketing strategy. The sixth one is to assist customers in selling the product line as to the machinery selling. And the seventh point is to provide technical advice and assistance to consumers, as the complicated products and work products are specially designed to fit buyer specifications. The eighth one is to assist the training of middlemen's sales personnel. The ninth one is to provide advice and assistance to middlemen on various management problems. The 10th one is to collect and report market information of interest and use to company management. The next type of objectives are quantitative objectives, and the quantitative objectives are, the first one is to obtain sales volume in ways that contribute to profit object. And the second point is to keep personal selling expenses within certain limits. The third point is to secure and retain a certain share of market. And the next point is to obtain some number of new accounts of given types. And fifth is to secure a given percentage of certain accounts business. And coming to the scope of personal selling, there are two kinds of personal selling: across the counter selling and field selling. The first one, across the counter selling. In this kind of selling, customers come to the salespeople. It involves retail stores selling. It also includes the salespeople at catalog retailers who take telephone orders. Most salespeople fall into this category, just like we go to shop to buy products. The next one is field selling. It is the selling where the salesperson go to the customers. These people sell in person at a customer's place of business or home. These outside sell forces are engaged in field selling. These people sell in person at a customer's place of business or home. Outside sales force usually represent producers or wholesaling middlemen selling to business users. Today, some companies have sales force that goes to the customers in person. Some outside selling is become electronic. Thank you. The later sessions will be discussed by my teammates. Thank you.
I am Sri Lakshmi P. Now we can look into some of the common personal selling techniques. First one, sales presentations. It is an in-person or virtual presentation to inform prospective customers about a product, service or organization. Next one, door-to-door selling. Offering for sale by going door-to-door in a neighborhood. Next one, conversations. Relationship building dialogue with prospective buyers for the purpose of influencing or making sales. Next one, field selling. Sales calls by a sales representative to connect with target customers in person or through phone. Next one, demonstrations. Demonstrating how a product or service works and the benefits it offers, highlighting advantageous features and how the offering solves problems encountered by customers. Next one, addressing objections. Identifying and addressing the concerns of prospective customers to remove any perceived obstacles and make them purchase. Next one, retail selling. In-store assistance from a sales clerk to help customers find, select and purchase products that meet their needs. Next one, consultative selling. Consultation with a prospective customer where a sales representative or consultant learns about the problems faced by customer and recommends solution to their problems. Last one, reference selling. Using satisfied customers and their positive experiences to convince target customers to purchase a product or service. Now we can see when to use personal selling. First one, product situation. Personal selling is relatively more effective and economical when a product is of a high unit value, when it is in the introductory stage of its life cycle, when it requires personal attention to match consumer needs, or when it requires product demonstration or after-sale services. Second one, market situation. Personal selling is effective when a firm serves a small number of large-sized buyers or a small or local market. It can be also used effectively when an indirect channel of distribution used for selling to agents or middlemen. Third one, company situation. Personal selling is best utilized when a firm is not in a good position to use impersonal communication media or it cannot afford to have a large and regular advertising outlay. Last one, consumer behavior situation. Personal selling should be adopted by a company when purchases are valuable but infrequent or when competition is at such a level that consumers require persuasion and follow-up. Next, we can look some of the advantages of personal selling. High customer attention, message is customized, interactivity, that is there is a lot of interaction between the customer and the salesperson. Next one, persuasive impact, potential for development of relationship, adaptability, and finally opportunity to close the sale. Some of the disadvantages of personal selling: high cost, labor intensive, expensive, and it can only reach a limited number of customers. Moving on to the principles of personal selling. Personal selling is an ancient art and is governed mainly by the following principles: sales professionalism, negotiation, and relationship marketing. We can look into sales professionalism. All sales training approaches try to convert a salesperson from a passive order taker into an active order getter. So the main purpose of sales training approach is to convert a salesperson from a passive order taker to an active order getter. Order takers, that customers who know their own needs. Order takers usually approach customers who know their own needs. Recent attempts to influence them. Order takers usually attempts to influence their customers. Prefer courteous and self-effacing salespersons. Order takers are persons who are polite and they believe that they can be successful in their job. To become an order getter, that is to become an active order getter, there are two approaches. The first one is sales-oriented approach. Stresses on high pressure techniques. In this approach, the main focus is given to high pressure techniques. And the next one is customer-oriented approach. Stresses on customer problem solving. In this approach, the main focus is given in solving customer problems. No approach works best in all circumstances. The type of approach which needs to be adopted depends on the situations and no approach works best in all circumstances. So that's all about sales professionalism. Thank you.
Myself Ajay Krishnan. So let's look into the second principle of the personal selling, that is negotiation. Much business to business selling involves a negotiating skills. One of the most important qualities of the skill for which a salesperson needed is the negotiating skills. Ultimately, the two parties, that is buyer and the seller, needed to reach the agreement about the price and other terms of sale. By bargaining or negotiating each other, the seller and the buyer have to reach at a price, and the salesperson need to win without making a deeper concessions that will hurt profitability. If we think in the side of a salesperson, he has to give a good profit or maximum profit to the company, so he need to win without making a deep concessions. So in marketing there are two types of exchange, that is a routinized exchange and a negotiated exchange. In the routinized exchange, it will be all decided, that is administrative program of pricing and distribution. There will be no bargaining. There will be a fixed price and other terms of sale. So the buyer has to pay that price. But in a negotiated exchange, the price and other terms will be set through the bargaining behavior. The buyer and the seller, by the bargaining, they can fix the price and other terms of sale. That is all about negotiation. The next thing is the relationship marketing. The company must build a long-term supplier-customer relationship. For making a loyal customers, it is very important to make a good long-term relationship with the customers. It will help in long run. The company must build relationship marketing rather than transaction marketing. Not just a transaction of product is needed. The salesperson need to build a good relationship with the customers so that the customer will approach the company again in the future. The large customers are often global and they prefer the suppliers that can have which underlying qualities, that is sell and deliver a coordinated set of product services to many locations, quickly solve the problems that arise in different locations, work closely with the customer teams to improve the products and processes. So that's all about the relationship marketing. So next we look into the major step in the effective selling. In that, the first thing is the prospecting and qualifying. The first step in the selling is to identify and qualify the prospects. The company that can generate leads by examining the data sources. The data sources in the sense newspapers, websites, etc. and exhibiting at trade shows to encourage the drop-bys, inviting the customers to suggest the name of the prospects, cultivating the referral sources like suppliers, dealers, and bankers, and contacting the organizations and associations, telecommunications. So these are the all way in which we can do the prospecting and qualifying of prospects. So the next thing is the pre-approach. The salesperson need to learn about the prospect company. By telling about the prospect company, the salesperson should know about the needs of a company and the things which are involved in the purchase decision. The next thing the salesperson need to learn is about the buyers. He should know about the personal characteristics of a buyer and what is more likely to that buyer, what is the demand of that buyer, and the buying styles. The salesperson should set call the objectives. Before going for a selling of a product, the salesperson should have some objectives to qualify the prospect. He should have all the information or all the qualities of a product in order to make an immediate sale. The next thing, the best approach a salesperson can is the personal visit. By visiting personally the customer, he can communicate the data or what the qualities of a product directly to him. Or if he can't make directly, he can communicate the data through phone call or a letter. Finally, the salesperson should plan an overall sales strategy for this account. For a personal selling, the overall sales strategy is very important.
So here we continue the steps of personal selling. So next is the approach. The salesperson should properly approach the prospects. He should know how to greet the buyer before starting his conversation. The salesperson should be properly dressed when concerns with the temperament of the buyer. The opening line should be positive. For example, the conversation should be like this. Mr. Jacob, I am Rahim from G1 Company. My company and I appreciate your willingness to see me. I will do my best to make this visit profitable for you. So, these types of opening line must pay importance to the buyer's needs. Next step is sales presentation. The sales presentation should be based on AIDA formula. In other words, the presentation should gain attention, hold interest, arouse desire, and obtain the action of the buyer. Moreover, the salesperson should adopt FABV approach. That means features, advantages, benefits, and value approach. Features narrate physical characteristics of a market. Advantages describe why the features provide an advantage to the customer. Benefits explain the economic, technical aspects and social benefits delivered by the offering. Finally, value describes the overall worth in terms of money. The sales presentation varies in different styles. There are three main styles of sales presentation. They are namely, first one is canned approach, next is formulated approach, and the last one is need satisfaction approach. The canned approach is memorized sales talk covering the main points, while formulated approach identifies the buyer's needs and buying style and then uses an appropriate approach. The need satisfaction approach starts with a search for customers' real needs. It encourages the customer to talk of his own needs. So the customer will talk of his own needs and we are listening to his conversation. The next step is handling objections. Customers, when pressed for orders, voice their objections known as customers' resistance. So their objections is known as customers' resistance. The resistance of the customers may either be psychological or logical. Psychological resistance includes resistance to interference, giving importance for well-established brands, apathy, impatience, reluctance to participate in the talk, unpleasant situation created by the salesperson, aversion towards decision making, etc. So we want to handle these objections from the customer. Logical resistance is based on some reasons associated with price, delivered schedule, product, or company characteristics, etc. So they will have a numerous questions about the company and related to the price and the product's quality, etc. So we want to convince the customer about these characteristics of the product. Salesperson should overcome these objections by adopting a positive approach. He must convert the objections into reasons for buying. Handling and overcoming objections are the most important part of sales process. So next step is closing the sale. A good sales talk results in a clinching a sale. At this juncture, the salesperson closes the sale at the right moment. A salesperson can successfully close the sale by studying the body language and the statements made by the buyers. They can ask for the order by drawing the attention of the customers towards color, size, or type of the product. If the buyers remain undecided, they may be guided in making the choice of the product. The last step, that is follow-up and maintenance. Immediately after closing the sale, the salesperson should take some follow-up measures. He may give details about delivery time, purchase terms, and mode of payment of price, etc. The salesperson can ensure customer satisfaction by properly attending matters which are important to the customers. Thus, follow-up is necessary if the salesperson wants to ensure repeat purchase. So these are all about the steps in personal selling.
Myself and Maria Joseph. Now let's look into the features of personal selling. The main features of personal selling are: first one, it is a face-to-face communication between buyer and seller. Next one, it is a two-way communication. So salesman can provide necessary information to customer about company's offer and can also collect information from customers. Next one, it involves oral communication. Next one, it persuades the customer instead of pressurizing him to buy the product. Next one, it provides immediate feedback. At the end of every call or visit, a salesman can easily judge whether the customer is interested or intended to buy the product. Next one, it develops a deep personal relationship between the buyer and the seller. Importance of personal selling. First one, flexibility. Sales talks and presentation can be adjusted to situation to suit individual nature, motives and problems. Thus, it is highly flexible. Next one, personal attention. Personal selling focuses on personal problems of the customers. Next one, detailed demonstration. Salesman provide a detailed demonstration and can supervise when customer is making the actual use of products. For technical products, it has more relevance. Next one, individual services. Salesmanship offer individual services. It can meet personal expectations of the buyers. Next one, complementary to other promotional tools. Personal selling can support advertising, sales promotion and publicity. Next one, actual sale. Advertising can only attract attention and arouse desires in customers. But in personal selling, most cases leads to actual sale. Personal selling carries importance when the product is in introductory stage, the product's unit value is high, the product requires demonstration, the product must fit to the needs of buyers, the company do not go for advertisement. Evaluation of personal selling. There are two types of evaluation. First one, quantitative evaluation. Quantitative evaluation can vary from purely behavior based to purely outcome based control strategy. That is, from how much calls he made to how many sales he generated. Next one, qualitative evaluation. Qualitative evaluation includes subjective evaluations of salesperson's attitude, product knowledge, customer knowledge, appearance, and presentation skills. So, by considering all the factors so far we have discussed in this presentation, we can conclude that personal selling plays a vital role in the promotion of goods and services in an organization. So that's all with our presentation. Thank you all for listening us patiently.